Chapter 2: Breaking the Chains, Escaping the Old System. Dr. Tyrone Moodley's awakening at the Collision Conference marked just the beginning. Understanding the revolutionary promise of Bitcoin and decentralization ignited a deeper reflection. It was time to question the very foundation of the legacy financial system holding communities back, particularly in Africa. The chains he sought to break were not merely symbolic, they were tangible financial restrictions, shackling millions to poverty and dependency. The reality of exploitation. Dr. Moodley vividly recalled his uncle, Teddy Namainga, a dedicated farmer in Zambia. Despite owning several hundreds of cattle assets representing considerable wealth, on paper, Uncle Teddy struggled with persistent financial difficulty. The reality was harsh and a troubling comment. Many African farmers were asset-rich but cash-poor. They sat on substantial wealth in cattle, land, or crops, yet lacked the liquidity needed for growth, education, health emergencies, or even daily expenses. To make matters worse, the traditional financial system saw little value in these real-world assets, leaving rural communities at the mercy of exploited loan sharks. These lenders, fully aware of their power, preyed upon farmers' desperation by charging exorbitant interest rates, often as high as 50%. Unable to secure affordable credit, farmers frequently found themselves trapped in cycles of debt, risking the loss of their valuable livestock, property, or even freedom. Dr. Moodley, recognizing the absurdity of this justice, turned to the first principles thinking. Inspired by his transformative encounter with Mr. Bitcoin, he started questioning fundamental assumptions, asking himself, what if farmers could turn their cattle, Africa's oldest store of value, into liquidity, not through exploitation, but through innovation? What if we could leverage global financial markets directly without even going through exploited intermediaries? Recalling how CryptoKitties, a playful yet groundbreaking NFT marketplace, has successfully tokenized digital cats for millions of dollars, Moodley had sudden insight. What if we tokenized real cattle? In other words, what if farmers didn't have to rely on loan sharks charging predatory rates as high as 50%? Instead, cattle could be digitally tokenized, represented as NFTs on blockchain platforms similar to CryptoKitties. This would enable them to leverage the actual market value of their livestock as collateral to access fair global liquidity at dramatically lower interest rates. This tokenization would unlock immediate capital, connecting rural African farmers directly to global liquidity, all while retaining ownerships and control of their assets. This was revolutionary. Each cow, previously an illiquid asset, could now serve as collateral on an international scale, allowing investors from anywhere in the world to provide liquidity directly to farmers. Farmers would receive affordable, transparent loans to below the exploited local rates, perhaps even under 5% thanks to efficiencies.
Dr. Moodley began mapping out this groundbreaking solution by building Ndepi ecosystem around this tokenization concept. Cattle could be represented digitally, secured transparently, and traded freely, creating an international market for African cattle assets. It would attract global investors who could own fractionalized cattle tokens and share in profits or even receive predictable yields, driving economic growth back to local communities. Inspired by blockchain success stories like CryptoKitties, which provided that digital assets could garner real-world significant value, Dr. Moodley theorized an ecosystem that went beyond novelty. This was about real empowerment, enabling communities to access global capital at fair terms without sacrificing control of their physical assets. This wasn't just disruption, this was liberation. Breaking the chains of traditional financial systems meant escaping financial servitude, predatory lending practices, and economic oppression. Tokenizing cattle was just one example of how powerful decentralization could be when guided by clear-eyed, first-principle thinking. It was a practical demonstration of how crypto, blockchain, and tokenization were no longer abstract, distant technologies, but they were real-world solutions for millions currently trapped by poverty, limited financial access, and systemic exploitation. In discovering this path, Dr. Moodley saw clearly that the old system was not just obsolete, it was actively harmful. The only system was to build something new, something that began by rethinking the value itself. The chains were breaking. A decentralized, inclusive future was within reach. The path to becoming the one was clearer than ever.